Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In Surah An-Nisa verse 4, Allah says, "And give the women their dowry as a free gift, but if they are willing to give up any of it, then take it with satisfaction and ease." As mentioned in the previous episode, Surah An-Nisa commences by reminding us that we all have come from Adam alayhi salam, and we must be conscious of the limits set by God when demanding our rights from each other. In other words, we must have taqwa. In specific, the verse suggested the importance of our relationships, particularly the mother and the wife. Now, besides these two, orphans were also the most oppressed in society during the pre-Islamic era. They had no one to stand for their rights or to protect their property, so they were often abused and mistreated. That is why verses 2 and 3 mention the third category, that is orphans. Verse 4 now talks about the compulsory gift that has to be given to women upon marriage. But we could ask two questions here. Firstly, you might notice that the verse talks about giving the dowry as a free gift. The actual meaning of the word nihla is free gift. Why would Allah say free gift instead of just gift or compulsory gift? Now, some people suggest that perhaps this means that the husband should give his wife the dowry as a gift, demanding nothing in exchange. But this is wrong because according to the nikah contract, something is being demanded in exchange. The wife has to be loyal to her husband, and as mentioned in the Quran, she must be obedient. So something is being demanded in exchange. Secondly, why does Allah state that if the woman gives up some of her dowry, then accept it with joy and ease? Why not just say that if the woman wants, she can give up some of her dowry? To answer the first question, first ask yourself, when is a free gift given? A free gift is often given by companies to promote their product or brand. In order to get customers interested in what they have to offer, they give free gifts. The free gifts attracts customers who also end up paying attention to the other products being sold. So when Allah tells men to give the dowry to the wife as a free gift, it's a means of gaining the attention of women so that they seriously consider the marriage. Now, what does that mean? Are women desperate for gifts and money? No, it highlights the fact that women need financial independence and security to feel empowered. This is a beautiful message being given to men, teaching them something valuable about the women they choose to marry. When you marry a woman, you are not bringing a maid into the house, nor are you bringing a slave whom you will own. You are bringing a woman who Allah demands should be financially strong so that she is empowered. How will she be financially strong and empowered? By the dowry that is given to her. So basically, the dowry gives the woman leverage. If there is too much abuse in the marriage, she doesn't have to stay. She doesn't have to worry about how she will get a divorce or how she will meet her immediate needs post-divorce. She has her dowry as an asset. Some of the dowry can be used to bail her out of the marriage via khula, and the rest can be used to grant her some financial security for a short period of time at least, giving her enough time to marry someone else or get a job and become financially secure. So think of it this way, the dowry given by the man is a free gift in the sense that he is promising to give the wife some leverage, financial strength, and empowerment. The dowry is a statement to the potential wife that the man is not looking for a maid or a slave, but a woman who he is going to willingly empower by giving her a suitable dowry. Moreover, it is a warning to men that they shouldn't think that they now own the wife and that she's trapped. Her dowry is her means of exiting the marriage whenever she wants to. So don't take her for granted, respect her. This is why the concept of haq meher is so important and so beautiful in Islam. During the pre-Islamic era, dowries were often given to the bride's father. So instead of granting the woman empowerment, she ended up becoming a commodity that was sold to her husband for a price paid to her father. If she wanted to get out of the marriage, she would have to convince her father to free her. She had no financial strength and she did not have any empowerment. Islam changed that, which is why it was such a foreign concept for the Arabs at that time. Women who were treated as commodities were now being empowered. They were being given rights and financial strength. They had an opinion. They could stay in the marriage or use their haq meher to leave it. It was entirely up to them. In addition, Allah instructs the men that if their wives give up some of their dowry, then accept it with joy and ease. In other words, if the dowry asked by the woman is quite high and the man is struggling to fulfill it, they can renegotiate the haq meher. In that case, if the woman agrees to lower it, then the man should accept her generosity with happiness and ease. Now, just by saying that, men were being told that at the time of haq meher, and only at the time of haq meher, women have the upper hand. If they don't agree to the amount of haq meher the man is giving, the nikah cannot happen. And if the man really wants to marry the woman, he will have to hope that she is willing to show mercy by lowering her haq meher demand. So it's not the man who decides the haq meher and then the woman must accept whatever is being offered. The woman decides how much haq meher she will take, or if the husband is setting the haq meher, the woman decides if she will accept it or not. This is female empowerment. In fact, it is because haq meher symbolizes empowerment, that's why the Quran instructs men to pay the haq meher even if they are marrying a slave woman who had been freed. Just because she was a slave doesn't mean she doesn't have to be paid haq meher. Every wife in Islam enters the marriage with some feeling of empowerment. Of course, a lower amount will be paid to a slave because she will be willing to accept a lower haq meher. But even though it is less than a free believing woman, it will still be substantial for her. She will still feel strong and empowered. And that is what a wife should feel in a marriage. This is the beautiful concept of haq meher. Now, interestingly, once the haq meher is paid and the marriage occurs, Allah informs us that the man then has the upper hand. So in other words, at the time of haq meher, yes, it's the woman because she's deciding if she will accept that haq meher or not, and she has the power to renegotiate it. But once the marriage has taken place, the haq meher has been accepted, then Allah tells us the man has the upper hand. The idea being that in every decision that has to be taken, the man has the upper hand because he is the leader of the family unit. But since the wife was empowered right at the start of the marriage through her haq meher, the husband should consider her opinion in every decision he takes. He doesn't have to comply with her demands, but her opinion should be taken. Because right at the start, Allah made it clear that a maid or a slave was not being brought into the house. A respectable, empowered woman was being brought as a companion and a partner. So just as the Prophet would always seek the opinion of his wives, Muslim men should consult their wives in important matters. Don't demean the intelligence of your wives. Don't belittle them. Do not boss them around. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that the husband has limited rights and the wife can do whatever she wants in a marriage because she's empowered. The wife's role is explained later on in the surah. But firstly, it is the men who are being instructed before the women, because if there is a case of abuse or violation of rights, there is a greater likelihood that the guardian will be the one trying to abuse his powers. In other words, both man and woman, both can be wrong, but there is a greater likelihood that it's the guardian who's going to be abusing his powers because he has the upper hand during the marriage. That is why Allah first addresses the man and later on he addresses the woman. Since the guardian, of course, is the husband, he is being warned first. In addition, Allah is more protective over women because they experience a huge shift in their lives when it comes to marriage with regards to a change in guardianship. From having their father as their guardian, the husband suddenly becomes the one who is obliged to protect and provide for them. That shift in itself can be very difficult to adjust to, and understanding this, Allah is softer towards women and He's more strict and stern towards men. So men don't experience as great a shift in marriage as women do. And that's another reason why Allah is first warning the man and only later does Allah address the woman. This, by the way, also provides great insight to men getting married. They need to understand that adjustment for women is hard. It's not easy. Haq meher doesn't suddenly make everything okay. It doesn't suddenly make everything easy for the woman. It might be a means of empowering her. It might be a means of granting her leverage so she can exit the marriage in the future if she ever wants to. It might be a means of teaching the husband not to take the wife for granted, but still, regardless of all of that, it is a big transition for a woman when she gets married to know that now instead of having her father as being the guardian, her husband has now become the guardian. So we're talking about a completely different man, a different personality, different characteristics. And that is what she's going to have to adjust to. And this is what every man should appreciate when it comes to marriage. Assalamu alaikum.